Hey everyone, Delphi Trading Group here with our weekly market report that we put out every Tuesday for you guys. And here we are with the SPY. Now, we're going to say our forecast for this week are not, we're really not putting anything out. Why? Because we have earnings this week. This is the major earnings week for all the big tech, the Mag 7, all the big tech earnings. So, like we say, news always trumps the charts and technicals, which you can include earnings into that as well. But here we have the SPY daily. You can see our target right there from last week has hit. All our targets have hit. We said we were going to go lower. We went lower. The very next day, the target hit. The very next day, and again, of course, the markets bounced from the moving averages, which is the theme right now. Now, if we were to put out a forecast this week, we would definitely be going lower. Okay, we had three gaps at one point this morning when the markets gapped up. So we had a gap here, we have a gap here, and then we had a gap this morning here. Now I have this picture up here as well. These are different gaps. We have a breakaway gap here, the one gap here. We have a runaway gap here, and then an exhaustion gap here. Okay, and then what usually happens is the markets roll over. Okay, so we had that here up until this morning, and the exhaustion gap has filled already. So if we weren't in earnings week, we would definitely be going lower and even maybe forecasting a bigger move lower to head down and fill these gaps. Okay, so you just be mindful of that. We are far from the moving average. Down here, volume is still going down. CCI just almost off the map, pivoting now, sell signal. Stochastic almost off the chart as well. So this chart is very bearish, but again, we're in earnings week. We're not even really trading this week for the community, kind of just taking a break. We don't like trading during earnings because, again, you could have all the right charts and technical setups, and then news or earnings comes out and it wipes out your trade. Okay, so again, we're not giving out a forecast. And again, all the indexes kind of look similar. The Qs, same kind of situation here. We actually still might have the gap here at the Qs. Let's see, what is yep, so that gap is still open. So we do have the three gaps here and way over the top Bollinger Band. Okay, difference here, the volume is going up, but still look at the CCI below is still, it is hinging and pivoting. So again, we're not going to put out a forecast, but our forecast from last week here, you guys can see has hit. We said all the forecasts have hit. IWM, here is the IWM, and not really similar to the other indexes, but you know, we have gapped up. This gap is still open on the IWM, and now we're pivoting. So we would definitely go down to fill this gap. Again, if we didn't have earnings. Now, IWM is a small cap index, so I'm sure, though, if the markets start heading higher, the IWM will follow. But this chart is definitely not bullish. Okay, look at the CCI below, pivoting off of overbought. So we would say this open gap will fill. But again, we hit our forecast from last week, the very next day as well. So all three index forecasts have hit. Now, I do want to show something here. I'm going to go to the SPX because it's a cleaner chart. And I'm going to go to the monthly. Okay, now we're still in the month. The month is still going on. But there's something very important going on here that everybody needs to just be mindful of what's going on here in the market. Okay, we are in an up-only market. But what I want to point out here is that if we look below, okay, first of all, this is the monthly chart. We are the furthest away from the 50-month moving average, which is that red line. We are the furthest away in history right now from that moving average. Okay, we can see here recently what happened here when we got far away. We had the flash dump, right to it. Here, back here, we were far away, and then what happened? Markets reversed right down to it. Okay, so we do not think this is going to be a different situation. Okay, we think eventually we are going to revisit the 50-month moving average. Now, when is that going to be? We said it already. We're pretty bearish for next year, but we are going to forecast right now at some point that we are going to meet that 50-week moving average. Okay, right down here. So, we're not calling a crash, but we could very easily see something similar to this. Okay, this was about a 10-month move down. So we could see that, but we do think we're going to revisit this. And again, look what's going on below. Okay, we have a bearish divergence on the CCI. Okay, what does that mean? Well, when the CCI was here at highs, the SPY was roughly 2,000 points lower. Now we're 2,000 points higher, and the CCI is nowhere near that high. Okay, so also very important, look at the stochastic below. The stochastic right now is almost off the chart, overbought on the monthly chart. Okay, last time we saw this was back here. Okay, look above. This was when this happened. And also back here. Okay, and look what happened back here. And there's the closing bell. So again, our long-term forecast, we're putting our necks on the line here. Our long-term forecast is on the monthly SPX chart. This is going to go for all indexes. Is that we are going to revisit the 50-month moving average. Okay, now it could be into next year. I mean, the 50-month will be going up, and we will just have to see where that is. But again, just be very careful in this market because, again, we are in an up-only market, so you have to be very careful. Okay, so that's it from us here at Delphi Trading. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry that we're not putting out any forecast next week, but just be careful because the charts are looking bearish all around. Have a great week trading, and we'll see you next week. Take care.